Dear students, we were studying chapter number 1, electric charge. In that, we completed a topic, Coulomb's law, in a vector form. So, we are going to start from the that same topic. See, revising this topic, Coulomb's law in a vector form. In that, what we studied, xy coordinate system, it is, we are having the two charges q1 and q2. These are the two charges. The force acting on q2 charge due to the one charge, that will be directed in this way, and the force acting on 2 due to 1, force acting on 1 due to 2 will be shown like this, force acting on 1 due to 2. What is the equation of the force acting on 2 due to 1, F21? See, K Q1 Q2 divided by R21 mod square into R21 cap. This is the force acting on 2 due to 1. In a similar way, we can calculate the force acting on 1 due to 2. See, the force acting on 1 due to 2, that will be K Q1 Q2 divided by R12 mod square R12 cap. Right? So, this is the force due to two charge particles. These two forces are equal and opposite forces. This we studied. Now the question arises in our mind, that is, what will happen instead of these two charges if there are more than two charges are present. So how we can calculate force acting on any charge particle? For that purpose, suppose we are going to draw a one diagram. See, suppose we are having number of charge particles. It is a Q1, it is a Q2, it is a Q3, right? In the xy coordinate system. We are going to calculate, suppose, the force acting on first charge due to the second and third. So that we will write mathematically like this: force acting on first charge, it will be a force acting on first due to second, another force acting on 1 due to 3. In this way we can calculate the force acting on first charge. So this statement is known as the superposition principle. In this principle we can say that it is the vector addition of individual forces. So force acting on 1 due to 2, it will be directed like this. Force acting on 1 due to 3, it will be directed like this. So this is the force on 1 due to 2. This is the force acting on 1 due to 3. It will be directed like this. Right? So this is the vector addition of individual forces. F12 and F13 are the individual forces, and we are adding them vectorically. So this is the statement. Now putting the value of F12, already we know that how we can calculate, or what is F12. F12 is the force acting on 1 due to 2. So we can write K Q1 Q2 divided by R12 vector mod square R12 cap. Similarly, we can write what is the force acting on 1 due to 3, that will be a K Q1 Q3 divided by R13 mod square into R13 cap. As we know that R12 cap and R13 cap are the unit vectors. Now taking K and Q1, K and Q1 are outside, K Q1 into the bracket, the remaining Q2 divided by R12 vector mod square R12 cap plus, see, what is remaining over here? Q3 R13 vector mod square R13 cap, bracket complete. If here only 1, 2, 3 charges are there, so 2 terms are there. What happens if there are 4, 5 and n number of terms? So here the terms will be increased. So with the help of mathematics, we can reduce these terms using the summation. So see, K Q1, this is the force acting on first charge particle, K Q1, using the sum, that is right. So here the term Q2 and Q3 is varying. So we will write Qi, right. So varying term we are denoted by letter I. See, R here it is one is fixed, the next is varying. So we will write R1 into I, right, vector square, into similarly R1 I cap, R1 I cap. So this is the force acting on 1 due to the remaining charges. So this statement is known as the superposition principle. I is varying from 1 to n. We can write like this. So this is the Coulomb's law in a vector form for the n particles. This is for the n particles, 1, 2, 3 and number of charge particles, right. So here the topic is ends. Now we are moving ahead. Now we will see the electric field. In this topic, what we studied, suppose we are having a plus charge. Around this charge, there is a presence of force in all directions, and this force is denoted by these vector lines. This force is denoted by denoted by the vector lines. The area up to which the force is present, that area is known as the field. So this is known as the field, and that is known as the electric field, right. So these electric field lines are known as the radially outward electric field lines due to the positive charge. In a similar way, suppose we are having a negative charge, the electric field lines are radially inward. So these are known as the radially inward electric field lines, correct? Okay. So see, here we are going to consider an electric field, right? So we know that electric field is due to the charge particle. So for that purpose, we must have to consider a one charge particle. See here, it is a xy coordinate system. At the origin of the xy coordinate system, we are going to keep one charge. So it is a charge. Around this charge, there is a presence of electric field in all direction, as we studied. So here the presence of electric field, right? And we want to calculate what is the magnitude of electric field at point P. And this P point is at a distance r from the origin. So P is the point. For that purpose, we are going to keep a one small minimum charge Q0, right? So this Q0 is known as the test charge. Why it is test charge? Because it will test what is the intensity of magnetic field at this point or given point. So it is known as the test charge. Here the electric field is present due to this charge. So that's why this charge is known as the source charge, right? So next concept that we are going to see, what is the force acting on that? That F equal to Q into E, Q0 into E. This is the force on this test charge, right? Definition of electric field. The second concept, according to the Coulomb's law. According to Coulomb's law, what we can say that what is the force between these two charge particles? This is the first charge particle, this is the second charge particles. So according to the Coulomb's law, what is the force between them? So that force F equal to K Q1. What is Q1? Capital Q. What is Q2? That is Q0. K Q1 Q2 divided by distance between them. K Q1 Q2 by R square. So this is the force. Equation number 2. This is the first equation. This is the second equation. From 1 and 2, what we can say that the left hand side of the equation 1 and 2 is same. So that's why what we can write, this equation equal to this equation. Means Q0 E equal to we can write K Q0 divided by this R square. Here this Q0 get cancelled. So what is E? E equal to K Q divided by R square. This is the mathematical statement of electric field. Electric field E equal to KQ by R square. Keep in mind here the Q is always source charge, right? So this is the electric field due to the point charge, single electric field due to the single charge. That's why you can see that electric field due to the point charge. Equation is KQ by R square. Here this Q will always a source charge. Now we will see the SI unit of electric field and the dimensional formula for electric field. So electric field, the SI unit of electric field we can calculate from this equation also and from this equation also, right? So SI unit of electric field E equal to what we can write? For E equal to we can write F divided by Q0. This is also definition for electric field. So SI unit of E, that will be, for the force we will write Newton and for the charge we will write Coulomb. So Newton per Coulomb is the SI unit of electric field, Newton per Coulomb, right? And we will calculate the dimensional formula for electric field. Dimensional formula for electric field. So for the dimensional formula we will write, what is the dimensional formula for F? That is m into a. So we will write m1. For the acceleration we will write L raised to 1 t raised to minus 2 divided by dimensional formula for charge, that we will write a raised to 1 t raised to 1. So it becomes m raised to 1 L raised to 1 t raised to minus 2 a raised to 1 t raised to 1, a raised to minus 1 t raised to minus 1. So here L raised to 1 and what is that, t raised to minus 2 and t raised to minus 1, it becomes t raised to minus 3. So see, m raised to 1 L raised to 1 t raised to minus 3 and a raised to minus 1 is the dimensional formula for electric field in the form of A and T. Dimensional formula for electric field also we can calculate in the form of Q. See how? So instead of Q we will write capital Q. Dimensional formula for Q will be like this. So the formula becomes m raised to 1 L raised to 1 t raised to minus 2 and q raised to minus 1. This is also a dimensional formula for electric field. Understand? The next topic that we are going to understand, that is the characteristics. Before the studying characteristics, we will see here also, if there are, instead of one charge particle, if more than one charge particles are present, then how we can calculate the electric field due to the number of charge. See, See here, suppose we are having Q1 charge, Q2 charge, Q3 charge. 3 charge particles are there, and due to these charge particles, electric field is present around this all charge particles. So now, what is the electric field at a given point? Suppose we are going to consider a P point over here, and we are calculating what is the electric field at point P due to this charge particle. So at point P, the direction of electric field will be like this, and electric field at point P due to the one charge, that will be denoted by letter E1. Similarly, electric field at point P due to the Q2 will be denoted by letter E2. Similarly, electric field at point P due to the Q3 will be denoted by letter E3. So what is the net electric field at point P? So that we will calculate like this. Electric field at point P, if it is suppose EP, right? It will be E1 vector plus E2 vector plus E3 vector. So what is electric field? E1 equal to what? E1 is the electric field at point P to the Q1. Suppose this distance is, we can say that is 1P, right? So suppose K, Q, that is Q1 is the source charge, and distance between them we can write, suppose it is a R1P, R1P, right? What is the basic formula for electric field? Just we studied, E equal to K, Q by R square, right? This is a simple form. Here we are using a vector form. So for the vector form, E vector equal to, that we will write like this, R cap. This is the vector form, simple. So here K, Q, here we Q1, right? That is mod square into R1P cap. This is the electric field at point P due to the Q1. Similarly, calculate electric field at point P due to the Q2. That is K Q2 divided by R2P. R2P vector mod square R2P cap. Similarly, same at point P due to the third charge. K Q3 R2P vector mod square, that is R2P cap. Again, the same steps we are using over here, taking the common thing out and using the summation. See, K will be outside. In the bracket, there is a Q1 R1P, right? E dot R1P cap plus Q2 R2P, that is R2P cap. Next Q3 R3P, here it is 3P square R3P cap, right? R3P we can say that. So using the summation, K remains as it is, use the symbol summation, I, so use the word I for the varying term. So here we will write Qi RIP bracket mod square into RIP cap. This is the electric field at point P due to the number of charge particles, right? In the next video, we will study the characteristics of electric field lines, right? Okay, thank you.